Hi, how are you? I'm coming to you from my garage because I'm about to work on something really exciting, so stay tuned.
I purchased this cat tree using Facebook Marketplace last year sometime in the spring, and I had grand plans to turn it into a rat tree. I have been waiting for quite a while to work on this project, and so this gave me plenty of time to plan it. Unfortunately, I could not find very many reference points, but I am going to share some that I did find that I thought might be interesting and I may be using ideas from. So this image is from Parrot Breeders Co. UK, and it features a drying rack and lots of repurposed items and parrot toys. And then this one is from Google, and I liked that they had lots of clutter in each level. It's very simple, and that they repurposed a dryer tube for this one. And I thought that was some good ideas. This cat tree was converted by Gemma of Isamu Rat Care. I'll link her channel in the description below. She added a custom ball pit, covered all the fabric in vinyl cloth, and added lots of ropes and climbing features to it. So in this portion of the video, I was attempting to disassemble the cat tree, and I flipped it over and looked at the bottom and realized that I did not have the tools that I needed to take it apart. So I took off this little hammock and tossed that aside for later. At this point, I'm putting on gloves because the twine or jute or sisal or whatever it was that's wrapped around those holes was just really causing me to scratch my hands up pretty good. So I put on some gloves, geared up, my Hulk pose, and then I decided I would take this apart in this area of my driveway. So here I am trying to pry the fabric up from around the edge of this top platform. It was glued down extremely well, which made it really difficult, and I could not get my fingers under it. So I was using pliers to just peel it up in a section, and then I was able to get it off with just my bare hands. I don't know how well you can see this, but this fabric was absolutely disgusting. There's actually fur stuck to the underside of it. It's totally matted and discolored. It's just nasty. I was originally going to try to save it and wash it, but it is just too far gone. And it becomes worse with each piece I took off. I really struggled with getting the fabric off of this piece. It was glued down extremely well, and it was stapled in several areas that I later discovered. So I wound up having to cut it off, and I could not find my box cutter, which made it really difficult because then I was working with these scissors instead. It did come off eventually, but it just was a little more fussy than I had figured it would be. cut this hammock open and found these amazing pieces of wood doweling. They are going to come in very handy for another project in a future video. So make sure you subscribe so that you can see that one when it comes up in the future. This is the final piece for the base of the tower, and it wasn't quite as tricky to get off, but it did keep coming apart here on the edge where I was trying to get a finger hold. Once I got it started, it actually came off fairly simply. It was just a big piece, so it took a little bit. I guess the cats that previously owned this were throwing a party because there was actually glitter stuck to the inside of this fabric. I'm not really sure how that happened, but it was really weird. It didn't show up well on video though. So my original plan with this little cylinder piece was to take the fabric off and recover it and turn it into a ball pit. And I was going to cover that larger opening with mesh and leave the smaller one open. But as you will see here, it was quite the pain to get the fabric off. And I realized after I got the fabric off that there were actually staples around the base of this holding not only the fabric but the base on, and I did not have a single flathead screwdriver in my tool bag outside with me to get it off. So it is currently sitting in timeout in my attic until I decide to deal with it again. So here I am really struggling to get these staples out, and after I got one of them out I was feeling very victorious, but I tried and tried with these others and could not get it out. I asked the kids to help me find a flathead screwdriver and they were not able to. I did finally get most of the fabric off, but it was just a mess. So next, I changed clothes and brought everything upstairs to my office. I decided to staple gun my materials around my wood. And this is just a heavy-duty stapler from Hobby Lobby that I've had for I don't even know how long. It works really well. I'm going to be using a felt-backed tablecloth that I have left over from a previous project, and I had actually saved it specifically for this project. I even purchased it for this and then used part of it for something else. And I actually wound up having just enough for all three of my pieces. So here is where I ran out of the first pack of staples and had to get more. And I really struggled with this for some reason. I'm not sure why, but I struggled with the box and I struggled putting them in. I promise I have changed the staples in this before many, many times. That's actually my second box of staples because I have used this before plenty of times. So I'm not sure why, but I did finally get it back together and correct.
So next I am working on this center section, and I tried using a razor type tool first and it just was not working to cut through, so I finally just switched to my scissors.
Enjoy me singing in this next part. This is one of our folk songs that we are doing in school.
Oh, there was a lofty ship, boys, and she set out to sea. And she goes by the name of the Golden Vanity. We feared she would be taken by a Spanish piratey. As she sailed in the lowlands, lowlands low, as we sailed in the lowland sea. Oh, I had her built in the North Country, and I meant her and I armed her and I sent her off to sea. When she was laid chase by a Spanish piratey, as she sailed in the lowlands, lowlands low, as she sailed in the lowland sea. Oh, we had aboard us a little cabin boy who said, "Captain, what'll you give me if this galley I destroy?" The captain said, "My daughter, she is my pride and joy. If you sink her in the lowlands, lowlands low, if you sink her in the lowland sea." So the boy puffed out his chest and plunged into the tide. He swam aboard so quickly to that rascal pirate's side. I don't know the next line of the song. He climbed aboard so quickly, oh, by night he was a spy. And he sank her in the lowlands, lowlands low, and he sank her in the lowland sea. So the boy drew out his auger and let the water through. Who did that? Who did it? Was it Joe? And he sank that rascal Spanish craft and all her faithful crew. Hey, the water went in and dazzled their eyes, and he sank her in the lowlands, lowlands low, and he sank her in the lowland sea. So the cabin boy did swim over to the starboard side. He said, Captain, take me up, I am drowning with the tide. I will sink ye, I will kill you, take my daughter as bride. Arr! And he left him in the lowlands, lowlands low. And he left him in the lowlands sea. So the cabin boy did swim over to the harbor side, saying, shipmates, take me up, I am drowning with the tide. They took him up so quickly, but then on deck he died. And they buried him in the lowlands, lowlands low. And they buried him in the lowland sea. There's a curse upon that captain, wherever he may be, for taking that poor cabin boy so far away to sea. For taking that poor cabin boy so far away to sea. And to leave him in the lowlands, lowlands low. And to leave him in the lowland sea. For taking him to the lowlands, lowlands low. And to leave him in the lowland sea.
So here I am working to remove the cording, twine, sisal, jute, whatever it is, off of these poles from the cat tree. I was originally going to save it and fix our kitty cat's tree, but unfortunately when I got it upstairs I noticed that it looked like it had been peed on by its previous owners. It had a smell to it and it was just sticky. If you've ever dealt with cat pee before, you know what I'm talking about. And so it had to all come off and be thrown away. Here is Crackers.
Don't chew on it, Crackers.
Your head. Who could ignore these sweet boys being so curious and just wanting cuddles and attention real quick? So sweet.
My baby.
So this next part here, well, I'm playing with caramel and crackers, obviously, since they came into my lap after seeing marshmallow. Clearly they were jealous. Caramel is definitely ultra nosy and has to know everything that's going on, and Crackers has to taste everything. So they got some extra cuddles. And then the next part of this, I am getting ready to cover each pole in fabric. I picked 3 different colors, and ideally I would have liked to do these all in one thing to make them match, but I just did not have enough fabric in my stash, which is shocking if you saw my fabric stash in any of my previous videos, but I just don't. So I did originally 2 in pink, 2 in blue, and then I realized that my third color just didn't have enough. So I'll get to that in a minute, but here I am stretching the fabric and just stapling it to the cardboard, and then cuddling on Crackers some more. Fixing a hair. Sprinkles wanted some attention. All right, so here I am stapling some more. I was trying to make sure there weren't any gaps in the fabric so that there would not be any place for the rats to catch or get in between the layers. And then what I've been doing is using the hammer just to tap it down. And next I trimmed both ends so that the fabric was flush with the end, so when I attached them back to the wood, they would be neat and tidy. So I finished both pink ones, and then I moved on to the pale blue, which actually this matched my tablecloth that I used on the other parts of the wood really well. I kind of wish I had had more of this just because it would have made the color so vibrant, but it's okay. It worked out okay. So I did one of them, and I was stretching the fabric around and stapling it, and then I trimmed it. Tap all the little staples in. Then I got to the second one, and you see I had to patch it, and this is where I decided I just really hated how this was going. I just did not have enough blue to do 2 blue ones to match the 2 pink, and you can see the gray next to it. I was going to use that next, so it was going to be a couple of each color, but I did not like how this patch looked. It was just really ugly, and there was not going to be a good way to hide it. So instead I pulled out this fabric, and the camera angle changes in a minute, I promise I know how to speak. But I pulled this out because I had a lot more of it, and I really don't remember what I bought it for. Something rat related, so I guess it got used for that. And so I decided to use this fleece with this gray print instead. And honestly, this was an excellent choice. It did wind up working very well. There we go. Camera angle changed. Much better. Sometimes I really should just have my children help me a little bit, because just having them tell me if I'm in the frame is such a big help. So I did 2 this way. And so you see me again. I think this is the second one I'm doing here, where I staple it and then I trim it. Trim the other end, and then I put that one up and do this one. I don't know if this is the second or third one that I'm doing in this section, because there's 8 of these poles total. So originally I was going to do like 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 and 2, all in different colors. Refill the stapler because I ran out for the second time. Okay, so now, this is the third one. I can see them in the corner now, and I'm doing the same process with it. And then I had just enough that I decided I was going to do this in a moment on some of my other pieces that I'd already finished. So this is where I decided to cover the blue one that I've patched, which just looked hideous. And I was testing to make sure I had enough fabric for both so that I wouldn't wind up with like 2 pink and 1 blue, because that would have been awkward. I'm not sure why I decided to try the pink one first. I'm sure there was logic in it at the time, but whatever. And then I trimmed the fabric a little as I went, because this was a really odd shaped piece. I wanted to make sure that I used as much of it as possible, so I didn't have a whole lot of scrap left. And then I'm trimming the end again. Clearly I didn't trim the pink part very well, because I trimmed some of that off. Alright, and then I'm doing the awkward blue one. There it is, being stapled in. Got that end really good and tight. There we go, fix that up. That was bugging me just watching it. Staple all that in place. We used some improvisation and some help from my husband. Let's put together. Sorry, sprinkles. Scared him pretty good. I am not going to use that circular piece right here. It has proven really difficult to take apart, but I am going to save it and maybe use it on another point. So now I'm ready for the next step. Stage 1 complete. So here I have the, it's actually a dryer vent that I purchased off of Amazon. I will leave a link in the description. And a bird cargo net that I got off of AliExpress. Oh goodness, I've got it right after I bought the cat tree originally, so it's been a while. The seller probably doesn't even exist anymore, because that's how life is with that kind of stuff. They're sprinkles. So I stapled the bird net to the tree, just around the edges in several places to make sure it would hold. And then I made sure that I used my hammer to tap them in so that there wouldn't be anywhere that they would get caught, little toenails caught and things. Then I was trying to figure out how I was gonna use the hose. I decided to coil it around this leg. And I'm really happy with that concept. I do have to do some other things with it, but I decided to use zip ties to hold it in place, and then you'll see that I stapled the zip ties to the tree. And I love Hondorados because they're so sweet. Sweet boys. They were so nosy through this whole process, which I think is really funny, because now that I've gotten it to this point, they have shown zero interest in the thing. Hopefully once I finish it, they will be more interested. Don't know what I was doing there. Getting pliers. Oh, because I had left them on the other corner when I was taking stuff apart. Here I am stapling that zip tie in place so that the hose will go where I want it. Took that one out because I did it wrong. This really was extremely fiddly. If you've never tried to use a stapler upside down, I don't recommend it. It was very tricky. And then I was trying to figure out how I was going to fasten this so it didn't move. I did not want to put staples in the hose. I just really didn't want to. So I had my kiddo come over and help me, and then I fastened zip ties underneath, which you can't see, but then this here is me attaching that to the next set of zip ties. All right, this is where I'm going to stop for right now. I have to make a couple more things go on it. But what I'm leaning towards doing is some braided ropes, either there or there, and I need to make a hammock to catch for under this level. So that's what I'm gonna do next. hope you've enjoyed part 1 of the rat tree project. There is more to come, as I hinted at. Please make sure to stay after the colorful exit screen for some bloopers and funny, cute things that happen. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you dislike it, give it a thumbs down and tell me why in the comments below. Please make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to know when I post more videos of our homeschooling, our rats, or the random miscellaneous mischief that we get up to. Bye!
This is more work than I thought it would be. You know that? You know how much I love you to do this for you? What do you think?